have Chandrasekhar Prabhu, who is with us right now. He's an urban planner, so I'm actually excited because we will get to ask him some concrete questions about this entire story. Mr. Prabhu, thank you so much for joining us here at CNN News 18. Could you explain to our audiences, a little bit more about what Bengaluru's topography is like? What are the challenges that exist for that city in particular? Tell us, first a little bit more about that, and then tell us about what various governments' efforts have been after that, please.
Okay. Bengaluru topography is very typical. It's elevated. It's above the mean sea level. It's not at the mean sea level. And different areas of Bengaluru has different topography. There are some low-lying areas. There are some mid-lying areas. There are some higher places at a higher altitude. There are hills and hill slopes. Near Bannerghatta and in other places, different places, there are hills also. Now, town planning or planning of a city involves considering the topographical thing, which was never even attempted in Bangalore. And this is the result of continual neglect and greed, abject greed. For instance, you see, when you take construction in a low-lying area, there are some do's and don'ts which are very clear, which you should follow, never follow. There are some things, the hill slopes and hilltops have to be treated in some manner. Some development could be permissible, some development should be a no-no. There should be no development zone on hill slopes, never followed. The natural, you see, the water for 100 years, the rains have been coming. It's not as if this year or in the past few years the rains have come and earlier they have not come. The same amount of rain has been coming. Why has it not been flooding, say 50 years ago or 100 years ago? Because when the water came in, the land had its capacity to absorb the water. Now, with the indiscriminate development that is happening, urbanization that is happening, the first thing you do is to concretize the entire land. Don't leave the land to breathe. You build a building, that's okay. When you build a building, at least leave certain areas where the water that falls on the plot is absorbed. That is not done. When water falls on a particular place, every topography has a certain kind of pattern wherein the water goes from certain areas to certain areas, and Bangalore has innumerable lakes where this water is supposed to go and accumulate. Now, the area under the lake has been shrinking. Those who have plots on the border of the lakes have encroached upon the lakes. The lakes have been put to innumerable amount of stress by filling. Some lakes have been used as illegal dumping grounds. And the basic development control regulations are not sensitive to the weather. And when you do this, it is continuous abuse. I'm reminded of a very vulgar example, which is not too good, but it's a vulgar example. When the politicians look at cities, their look, I find, is exactly that of a lady running a brothel. Because you have seen a 18-year-old girl.
Mr. Prabhu, I'm so sorry. I will have to stop you for just a second over there. I will come back to you in a second. The question I want to ask you in just a second is what emergency measures can be implemented right now, according to you? I'd also like to introduce our audiences. We also have Mahesh Palawat. He's the Vice President of the SkyMet Weather Organization. We'll be going to him too. But first, my colleague, as you can see already on the right side of your screens, Ritu. She's with us live right now from Bengaluru. Ritu, thank you so much for joining us. I believe you're in Basavanagar as we speak. Just for our audiences, could you show us what the area around you looks like? Could you also tell us about your experience last night?
Well, exactly. I am right now in Kalapa layout in Basavnagar, and the scenes over here, you can see the complete area here is flooded, and there's a water logging inside the houses as well. The water level was so high of around 4 feet to 5 is what we've been learning from the residents over here at Kalapa layout, and the water has also entered the houses, and also in the visuals you can see there's not even a single BBMP worker or any BBMP official who have entered this spot, but the complete area is completely flooded, and there's a water logging inside the house. You can see these are the Chotu kids who have not even gone to their school. They had to take a holiday today because of this pathetic situation in the city that has been witnessed in the Bengaluru, and most of the residents have not even had their breakfast because the situation inside the house is very bad. And I'll also try and move inside one of the resident over here to show you the clear picture. You can see the difficulty that these kids are also having to get down and take the staircases. So I'll also show you the inside scenes of this particular house. So this is one of the house at the Kalapa layout, and you can see the water level inside this house, and look at the situation over here right now. There's a water logging completely inside the house. There's not even a single BBMP worker or any official who has witnessed this spot. And as you can see, I'll also show you few of the residents how they are trying. They are sitting on their bed over here. This is the room that you can see. The sad scenes been witnessed from Bengaluru city after the heavy rain lashes in the city that was also been accompanied by the thunderstorms and the lightning yesterday on that's on Tuesday, which started raining heavy in the evening, and the rain intensified at the night. But this is the miserable scene that you've been seeing from one of the house in at the Kalapa layout, and look at the situation over here. I'll also try and speak to one of the person from this particular resident, what exactly they say on this kind of situation. So what exactly happened? And not even a single BBMP official or worker has been seen here. How was the situation at the night? Where did you guys seek shelter? How was it for you?
Actually, I came back office from around 8:30, and it started raining at around that time. Until 12:30, it was raining very heavily. So the roads were blocked already, but the water had not entered house because this happens every year, and we have raised the platforms in front of our house. But because the rains were too heavy yesterday, the water got locked so much that it started entering through the outlets of our bathroom and kitchen. Now then, by around 10:30, all the houses, I mean all the rooms at the houses were filled with water. But around 12 o'clock, we could see the water levels rising, and then we were on the bed, so we were safe until last night. But then it will take another 1 week, 1.5 weeks for us to clean everything. We have loss of items. We had to move fridge and washing machine in the night all of a sudden.
But no, not even a single BBMP worker is here. But did you try calling them out? But was there a response from the BBMP officials? What exactly did you hear from them?
Actually, I tried. I mean, we have that one helpline number, BBMP helpline number. I gave a call in the morning. Generally, it happens every year. So, someone from the local MLA or someone just used to give a visit and then talk for some 10 minutes, and they used to tell, we'll do this, we'll do that. But it never used to happen. Every year it keeps coming back. Last year on Deepavali day, we had the same thing, same issues. This year, until now, I have not seen anyone come. BBMP for sure has not
But
come.
sir, now did the BBMP say that for how long will they take to come in?
The numbers are not responsive.
So no, then what exactly you going to do? BBMP is not responding.
I don't know. Wait for the water levels to go. Then my mom and my wife will clean the house. I have to leave for office in some time now.
Okay, thank you for speaking to us. So that's one of the resident in the Kalapa layout who says that the scenes are miserable and they are very much helpless because these scenes continue to be every year. But BBMP, as you can hear from the resident himself, saying the calls are always unanswered and they never turn up to the situation over here.
Ritu, thank you so much for bringing us these details.